YogaMasterminds is the premier online yoga teacher training certification program. This 200-hour, fully virtual course focuses on the objective realities of the human body, transforming aspiring teachers into confident and capable instructors.
Walk into most yoga classes these days, and you're not going to find an instructor teaching yoga. You'll find a game of Simon Says. Remember that game when you're a kid? There's a leader standing in front of the room, and without any regard for the order of movements or how long you should do those movements for, that person just says random things, and then everyone else just follows along. Now you might be saying, well, Andrew, even if yoga is just randomly moving your body, aren't people still exercising and getting benefit? Well, yes, but the problem is, unless you have a clear understanding of the human body, and you know the exact benefits that come with doing each of the different postures, you're never ever going to be able to create an optimum experience for your students to help them reach their fullest physical potential. I think of it like this. If you were to grab a random person off the street and tell them to make a loaf of bread, they would probably get a bowl, add a random amount of flour and salt and yeast, mix it up with water, throw it in the oven, and hope for the best, right? And I think that at best, that loaf of bread is going to be a mediocre tasting loaf of bread. Why? Because if you don't have the expert knowledge of baking, specifically in the scientific realities of what temperature the dough rises or the chemical reactions that happen when you add salt versus sugar versus baking soda, you're never ever going to have the skills to create the best product possible. It's like that in every industry except for the yoga industry. You have teachers, literally, I mean, anyone can do this. They're standing in front of the room saying random things to do, and I've thought a lot about this. I think it's because students are sweating and they're walking out of the room feeling better when they came in, that no one is asking if the product could be better. The product being strategically designed movement sequences to help people get better health and wellness outcomes. In an industry that should be promoting mindfulness, it's so ironic that yoga teachers are promoting a practice of mindlessness. So what's the cause of this? Inadequate yoga teacher training programs. Now, there's a whole bunch of great programs out there, but they're quarantined to places like Los Angeles and New York. And if you want to become a yoga teacher, you have to put in 200 hours of training, meaning you're driving to the same place 2 to 3 times a week over the course of 4 to 5 months, meaning you're probably not picking a studio because of its stellar teacher training faculty. You're picking the studio because it's close to your house. And because 95% of the programs out there are these mindless Simon Says type yoga trainings, you're probably going to be trained poorly as well. This huge problem of not having access to top-tier yoga teacher training programs is why I created the YogaMasterminds 200-hour online course. My name is Andrew Obaria, and I've been teaching yoga since 2008. I've worked with companies like Lululemon and Equinox, and I've taught all over the world. In 2017, I created YogaMasterminds with the hopes of combating the sea of mindless trainings. In YogaMasterminds, we learn the art of mindful movement, and I instruct my teachers to really understand the scientific principles within their own bodies so that they're creating movement sequences that can really help others. Now, when I first came to Cornell, I thought that I wanted to grow my business through in-person trainings. But I quickly realized if I had an online course, I could grow and scale more meaningfully. And so I got to work. I diagnosed what the problem was, which was the fact that teachers are not teaching, they're just calling out random shapes. I created an ideal customer profile. Here we see Sam the yogi. I calculated the number of Samanthas out there that would be interested in this type of training, and I really got deep into the psychology of what people are doing to combat this problem. They're looking at random resources online, they're driving long distances, they're paying a lot of money, or at worst, they're just being frustrated with their current local option. And so armed with this knowledge, I set some goals for myself and for my small business. Financial goals, but also to launch this training before I graduate. And I'm happy to say, but by the end of next month, right before I graduate, I'll be launching the first ever YogaMasterminds online training, and that I'm 50% of my way to my 2022 revenue goal. So what's next? Thank you. What's next for YogaMasterminds? Well, in order for this to be the premier player in this online space, I need your help. And so I end my talk today with 2 asks. 1, scan this QR code, follow YogaMasterminds online. And 2, and more importantly, if anyone here is an avid yoga practitioner and wants to get better, send me a 15-second video of you via Instagram of you doing any yoga pose. Doesn't matter what the pose is, and I'll send you back an analysis video where I talk about how you could improve your movement on your mat. So not only is this going to help generate content that I can use online, but also congregate a community of people that are interested in mindful movement and are done with Simon Says Yoga. Thanks so much, and I hope to hear from you soon.